you guys want a shot at winning a copy of Call of Duty World War II for the console of your choice for absolutely free, a couple of my friends and I are doing a little giveaway. Link is down there in the description below. Go check it out if you're interested. We're in single digits now. We are getting so close to the launch of Call of Duty World War II, and the hype is tremendously building here. And the next couple of days, as I've mentioned before, are probably going to be some of the longest, though numerically, there's not all that many left. But nonetheless, we press on. We're going to be talking a little bit more about Call of Duty World War II today, and one thing that I want to mention today specifically deals a little bit with a little bit of a community, not necessarily outrage, but a spark of interest, if you want to put it that way. Something that has sparked some discussion of some stuff we've already known for quite a bit of time already, but in a sense that it might be looking more so towards the future rather than what we get at launch. And that deals with variants within Call of Duty World War II for weapons, and if they will be stat changing or anything like that. Now, first things first, we will probably know the answer to this directly in the next few days here. Retail copies have started to go out, and therefore there's already leaks coming out. So if you guys want to stay spoiler free, of course, be selective on what you end up looking at through Reddit, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, whatever it may be here with this. But on the same token, if you guys are skeptical on some things, this can give you either that confirmation or clarity that you guys so hope for. So I guess it kind of works out in its own way, but nonetheless, still under 10 days away now, getting closer to that 1 week mark. We will be seeing some leaks, we will be seeing some definitive information come out, but nonetheless, talking about variants here at this one. The notion of variants within Call of Duty World War II stemmed all the way back to about 3 months ago at this point, just thereafter E3, where Sledgehammer did an AMA, or Ask Me Anything, over on Reddit, to which some of the staff over at Sledgehammer were answering on individual accounts and also on the Sledgehammer account. But Michael Condrey addressed the topic of weapon variants, to which he did confirm, saying yes, all weapon variants and gear variants in Call of Duty World War II supply drops are cosmetic only, so there are no stat-based variants in play. We're also offering players collections and collection bounties, giving a direct path for our community to earn items through all modes of multiplayer and headquarters play. So we've known about weapon variants for quite some time already, so why is it just now a relevant topic of discussion yet again? Well, it actually comes from one of the largest, if not the largest, creator in our little bit of community, though he doesn't necessarily do strictly Call of Duty stuff anymore. Ali A tweeted something the other day in which he said 100% weapon variants confirmed in COD World War II, marking from a GameStop ad in which you can unlock a base weapon with the attached image saying that you can unlock any multiplayer based weapon early with the pre-order of Call of Duty World War II from GameStop. So first and foremost, it's just one of those things that is marketing and promotion to try and get your sale through GameStop. That really comes with every single year, and seemingly every year more retailers offer different incentives, so it becomes tough to get everything if you were to want it. But nonetheless, the advertisement itself clearly mentions the idea of base weapons within World War II. And of course, being able to unlock it with that unlock token like we've seen previously is something that many people may in fact definitely go after, because who doesn't want to get a jump on one of the best weapons in the game starting out at level 1 on launch day. So where this creates this little bit of topic of discussion though, it brings it back into play the weapon variants themselves, and where a lot of people will definitely try to misconstrue the idea, whether intentional or inadvertently change up what the perception of this is, and therefore create some confusion, some chaos, whatever you want to label it as within the Call of Duty community, and therefore it will start a little bit of an uproar. So let's break this down into what I believe is the 2 different ways that this can go, and potentially it may go both ways, maybe just one way. Firstly, it starts out with a non-stat changing variants, that dealing with things like the ornamental variations, which we've already known about and have been told will be coming within Call of Duty World War II. They'll just be a little bit more flashy, something that really has that sort of prestige value to it, something like what was described to us was a weapon that, say, a general would have on their desk, something a little bit more embroidered, handcrafted, and intricately designed by, say, a gunsmith, and thus it would be something we could play around with in-game. There also is the ability to have non-stat changing variations of weapons, maybe such as a classified weapon, which could once again take into consideration that ornamental variation of the weapon, but we still don't know if that's going to be a weapon variant or a weapon entirely for that classified weapon. Personally, I still think it'd be cool if you could rank up your division and theoretically, say, unlock the MP40 by rank 15 or 20 by ranking up the airborne division faster than you would, say, your normal rank, and you wouldn't have to wait until like the 40s or something. Essentially unlock the classified weapon for each division at whatever pace you want to. I think that'd be super cool and a nice little breakaway from the previous rank up system and unlock system we've known in the past, but I digress. This advertisement could totally be just relating to a base weapon that does not deal with these non-stat changing, cosmetic only variations. And to go along with that cosmetic comment is that cosmetic reskins are listed in supply drops, so there will be variants definitely 100% within the game, confirmed by mitochondria, confirmed by everything that we know thus far, but as cosmetic. And the only thing that's interesting though is that it's only listed as the launch window only that we see weapons as cosmetic variants, which could lead to two different things. One, it could be new DLC weapons like we saw in Black Ops 3, Infinite Warfare, and Modern Warfare Mastered, which by now just seems like it's a 100% certainty, so buckle up if you're a fan or not a fan of that sort of thing. Personally, I'm hoping to see some improvements to that system, at least with a collection set, so that you don't have to pull from thousands of items every drop, but instead, you can shrink that pool of items with collections and pull from maybe like 200 items with duplicates there that could make scrap weapons, since we do have some sort of information on a prototype lab type of feature coming that matches similar to Infinite Warfare's and what it did with variants there, which could lead to the stat changing variants overall again, which leads us into the second point that the other way that this could go is that there are stat changing variants either in the game at launch or in the future. Because once again, we mentioned that supply drops will not feature variants of stat-changing weapons at launch, or so what we have information on supply drops is detailed as launch, which may just be the cover-up for adding new weapons into the DLC marketplace via supply drops, the cosmetic only, up until about December or so, maybe January. We don't see anything in terms of DLC weapons in supply drops, but instead, just weapon variants that are cosmetic only, similar to pre-made gunsmith things that we'd see in Black Ops 3, perhaps. But that doesn't negate the fact that there could be stat-changing variants in the game or coming at a later point in time. Now, while after that launch window it is technically fair game, I'm not entirely sure that they'd pull a fast one and make it like they'd add variants that far after the launch. I feel like something that would be crucial to a game like that would not be added in post-launch, because that would change the entire meta of a game. So I feel like if there would be stat-changing variants, they wouldn't throw that huge of a curveball for development and add them a month or 2 or 3 later after the launch of the game. If stat-changing variants would be in there at all, I feel like they'd be in there from the beginning, which could once again lead to that prototype lab of sort crafting system, in which we've seen from a couple of different leaks, there are mentions of a very similar system, and maybe you can use something like we'll call scrap to craft weapon variants within World War II. And if it's anything like Infinite Warfare system, in reality it really wasn't the worst. Most weapon variants weren't comparable and overpowered like the Obsidian Steed or the Speakeasy from Advanced Warfare, but where this idea actually really starts to take form in my mind is that this could encompass weapon variants in multiplayer of World War II while keeping the supply drop system cosmetic only as promised, but also still granting the ability to unlock a base weapon as this promo that originated this entire topic, re-sparking the flame for discussion as that promised, all while giving us weapon variants as well too within this crafting system that is sort of like a prototype lab, and everything kind of works together with this, in which what we see is the cosmetic only and supply drops, the base weapon from this promo, but what we don't see is the potential for an entire variant system that is craftable, that's something you can buy with in-game currency, not COD points, because we did see an Infinite Warfare system that the scrap was obtained via supply drops, so therefore it was kind of a secondary currency within the game and something that was only attainable via that supply drop system and wasn't something you could specifically buy. It's possible that this sort of thing will work out to be the same way within World War II. So I guess recapping all of this, because thinking back on it, I'm hoping that it was clear enough and something that makes enough coherent sense that it does get across to you. The message that I was hoping to get was that I think that this refers to the fact that we will get weapon variants in one or two different ways. Either one, we get variants in the cosmetic variation, which we've already known about, something that is in supply drops, is going to be probably attainable via classified weapons as just an ornamental reskin of a weapon, something that's kind of a prestige factor, or it's possible that we end up actually having full weapon variants added in either at a later point in time or that is yet to be really detailed to us with the full launch of the game. And therefore, this promo from GameStop allows you to pre-order and then get a permanent unlock token for one of the base weapons in the game. So without entering that theoretical crafting zone of a prototype lab, without going into any supply drops or anything like that, what we saw in the beta and a few more weapons listed there within each category, you'd be able to unlock that weapon and no variants there within. So that said, hopefully that makes sense, and I'd love to get your thoughts and feedback here on this one, because I think that this has a lot of different potential ways that it could go, but right now, I'm not too worried about it. I'm not necessarily lose my lid over this, because we've known about a lot of this stuff for quite some time now, but it's just a matter of how the message was brought up and how it was brought about in the last few days that sparked a little bit more intrigue and a little bit more interest. So that said, let me know your thoughts down there in the comment section down below. Do you think that these weapon variants the entire year will be cosmetic only? Do you think that we'll be getting some sort of secondary variant system that may have a little bit of stat changing factors to it that we have not really seen showcased to us but won't be in supply drops? Or what do you think will happen here with this? Whatever it is, there is no right or wrong answer at the very moment because we don't have the copy of the game in our hands to check, but nonetheless, love to get your thoughts and feedback. But hopefully you guys enjoyed, and if you guys did, make sure to drop a like down below, and of course, if you guys are new to the channel, make sure you guys subscribe to stay up to date with everything we have here regarding Call of Duty World War II. 9 days away now at this point. I'm incredibly hyped. Hopefully you guys are as well too. And if you guys are, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you don't miss a beat on anything we put out here regarding Call of Duty World War II. And finally, if you guys want to follow me over on Twitter, that's the best place to get connected outside of YouTube, but practically live on Twitter. So if you guys want to strike up a conversation, ask me a question, whatever it may be, link is down there in the description below. But all that said and out of the way, hope you guys had a fantastic day. Thanks so much for watching. Mine has been Espresso. I'll see you guys later. Take care and peace.